My name's Connie. Got a minute? I got a story to tell you. A story about God rocks. What's a God rock? Well, this is a God rock, and I want to tell you how they began and what they're meant to be. They began in church one night. We have very powerful church services. We have very amazing worship services. You always know when God's in the room. I was singing and I heard the words, God rocks. My first thoughts were, yes, God, you really rock. And it was like God said to me, no, you're not listening to me. I said God rocks. And he showed me a vision of a rock with a cross on it. And it looked just like this. Well, I didn't say anything to anyone for a few days. And then I finally told my husband what had happened in church. And he didn't laugh at me. He didn't think it was crazy. He just said, God wants you to make God rocks. So he worked with me for several months until we finally were able to recreate that vision I had that night. We had another business, so we didn't have a lot of time to devote to it, but we shared them with our friends, shared them with our church family, and just gave them out when we sensed somebody was in need. We used them as a reminder that God was always there for people, even when times seemed tough. About a year and a half into it, we decided it was time to sell our business. And 3 weeks later, I lost the vision of my left eye. The doctors didn't have a lot of hope that I would ever get my vision restored, even if I had had tricky surgery. So at that time, we just decided it was time to turn it over to God and let God take care of it. We knew that God had a plan. I was in church one Sunday morning when a lady came up to me and tapped me on the shoulder, and she said, honey, God wants you to know that if you start thanking him for your 2020 vision, that your eye will be healed. This lady was a visitor to our church and didn't know me and could not have known my story about my eye. So I had to believe her words were coming from God, and I had to do what she said. I got prayer partners and we started praying every day. Thank you for Connie's 2020 vision. We even text, thank you for my 2020 vision, every time we thought about it. The next time I went to the eye doctor, he said, I can't explain it and I don't understand it, but your eye is healed. And that was impossible. And I told him, no, it wasn't impossible because God had healed my eye. I knew that this was all a part of the God Rocks story, that I needed to get God Rocks out to the world. And what began as this one God Rock has now turned into a complete line of God Rocks jewelry. Take a minute and look at our website, www.rememberthefoundation.com. All items can be purchased there. I believe God gave me this vision to remind people that God was always there for them. If you remember the foundation that life should be built upon, you can't go wrong. God will never desert you. Share this with your friends, share it with the world. Have a great day.